Sherly Wardangi. I am a student of LSPR Communication and Business Institute Indonesia, a student under the supervision of Mr. Bonar Sirait as my mentor and lecturer. I'm here today to talk to you about the climate change. The average temperature on the surface of the planet has already increased 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit since 1880. Future generations are in big trouble, but for now it will continue to get warmer and the storm will grow more intense, with longer periods of drought in between. But long term, if emissions continue to rise unchecked, the climate disaster will destabilize entire nations, send millions of refugees across borders, cause widespread existence of most species on Earth, and melt polar ice cap, leaving the most of world's coastal cities several feet underwater. All this could take centuries, but something like the sudden collapse of agriculture would trigger immediate chaos in society. Best case is we get our act together and begin to rapidly bring emissions level down. Meanwhile, Earth turned out to be less sensitive to greenhouse gases than we currently believe. Plants and animals adapt quickly and major technological breakthroughs help society limits emissions and adjust to climate change. But these are all the opposite of what we are actually saying. So the only thing in our control is to limit emissions, using all available tools and the best behaviors currently at our disposal. Worst case, the collapse of the food production causes spiraling pieces, and as our capitalist utopia breaks down, billions starve as our world gets violent and messy real quick. Kind of a zombie apocalypse with extremely hunger, spreading chaos instead. So, still like a zombie apocalypse, this will be coupled with the melting of Antarctic's ice sheet, leading to rapidly rising seas that would force us to abandon many of our greatest cities and all the societies and scientific progress that we were making within term. Adding insult to injury is the fact that many of the emissions were emitted while building these houses abandoned. Underwater metropolis, if the emissions continue unchecked, we were looking at the total rise between 80 to 160 feet, which would occur if all the ice in the poles melted. Scientists only have Earth's history to base their predictions on, which suggests that the rate has occasionally hit 1 foot per decade. So we will have to adapt and alter the coastline sooner or later, but probably much sooner than later, because computer forecasts only give us a range of future possibilities. The most important evidence comes from the study of past climate conditions, which clearly show that every time the amount of carbon dioxide in the air rises, the earth warmer up, ice melts, and the ocean rises, we are uncharted territory. Humans are pumping carbon dioxide into the air force faster than nature has been before us. Scientists have been publishing strong evidence that warming is making drought and heat waves more frequent, causing heavier rainstorms and served coastal flooding. But while the internet has made us more aware of the weather disaster in distant countries, and it's hard to prove these are all direct made worse by climate change. Canada and Russia both have vast frozen lands and could see some economic benefits from a warmer climate. Putin and the Russians therefore have been reluctant to make ambitious climate commitment. But the experts that change as these countries realize they will swamped by millions of refugees from less fortunate liberations, and the other politic conservatives don't like the policies proposed to fight climate change and have chosen to try and block them and by actively undermining the science. This effort has been funded by the oil and coal industry, who favor making the money above all else. As more resources are devoted to solving the problem, our chances at the big technological breakthrough are improving, but we still should be spending about 3 times as much as money we currently are on these efforts, according to several in-depth reports. You can reduce your carbon footprint by doing things like plugging leaks on your home's insulations, installing a smart thermostat, taking public transit, taking less airplane trips, buying an electrical car, and putting solar panel on your roof. A big one is eating less meat, but what you really needed is for you to speak up and exercise your rights as a citizen. Because strong collective action through state and nation policies is how we will make the most impact. Considering that we have been ignoring scientists' warnings since the 80s to limit emissions, we are pretty late in this game. But we have finally reached at the moment where nearly every country in the world agrees this is a huge problem and seems ready to commit taking at least some kind of action. Leading corporations will continue to make bold promises to their part. Low emissions technologies will improve, and many states and cities will go much further than any goals set by their nation government. The United States, the world's biggest economy, is finally starting to move aggressively, and China, the world's largest emitter, is beginning to recognize that its needs to the same as many of its megacity cities will be under water if the seas rise too high. But it's up to us, the ordinary citizen, to continue demanding our political leader tackle climate change, the harder problems that humanity has ever faced. So like this video and help to spread it. If you have need further and detailed information regarding the issues of climate change, kindly text in the comment below this video. Have a great sustainable world. Thank you.